Welcome back. Our third week back with the Damn Worthless Radio Show. I am Mike, your host, with my co-host buddy on the East Coast, Matt. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
Oh, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it tonight. Tonight I am in the zone. I am totally in the zone. Last week I wasn't so much there. This week I am feeling it. From my head to my toes and back up out to my ass. I am feeling it.
All right. Well, you must have got off your menstrual cycle. That's very good. I'm glad to hear it.
Well, you know, everybody has to have a little PMS, a little man PMS. Don't they have a word for that? I mean, isn't that like a real thing?
I think it just said man PMS. I don't know. MPS, man menstrual syndrome. I don't know.
Is that like when your penis gets caught in a vice?
Yeah, something. It's like blue balls or something. I don't know.
Blue balls. That'd be more like red balls, man. Red balls.
I don't know. Fucking hurts no matter what.
Does it? I don't know. I've never tried it, but I can imagine that it would hurt really bad.
You never tried to put your balls in the vice?
No, not recently. No. Wait, nope, never.
You got those tools in your garage. Maybe you should fucking use them.
Wait a minute. I don't use them that way. That way's a little bit out of my, forte.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to put my balls in any sort of vices or anything else of that nature.
And then you might have to put them in a sling. Cha-ching.
Yeah. Well, I might get to go to the hospital and have some hot nurse rub my balls, but then again, I would probably get to the hospital and it'd be like some really jacked up transvestite looking nurse that's in there rubbing my balls and enjoying it more than I am. So
yeah, you never know these days. It's not like it used to be.
It is definitely not like it used to be, and it's not. That just isn't. I want to go to the hospital and have a decent look. I'm not going to go say hot because we all know there's not a lot of really hot supermodel nurses. There's a lot of average-looking girl next door nurses that are pretty hot. I wouldn't mind if they rub my balls.
Yeah,
but
they got a beard growing on their chin or something. They just look good because you're on medicine.
Hey, well, I don't care. I don't care if they look good because I'm on medicine. It's just like drinking too much and having beer goggles.
True. Yeah.
So,
So what we got on the agenda here coming up?
Holy shit. Well, you know what? This week is a lot of science-related stuff. A lot of science-related. I mean, I can't even believe how many really cool science-related articles there are. I mean, some are a little out there. Some are pretty cool. And we always have the sex story about the sex robots because every week there's a new sex robot story coming out of Europe or Asia. So, and we're going to talk about sex parties in New York City. We're going to talk about a guy that made a homemade tank that destroyed a small town. How we're going to live to 90 years old. Teachers getting caught saying things they shouldn't say. You know what? I think we're going to start off with that story tonight.
All right.
So remember, when you were in school, you'd always talk with your buddies. Oh man, I'd fuck her. One of your teachers, or one of the girls in school, or oh man, I'd marry her, or hey, I want to kill that dude. He's a fucking dick. And you always say shit like that. Just talking to your friends and stuff.
Oh yeah, we always had those teachers. Then yeah. It's like, ooh, she's hot. Ooh,
yeah.
Then you wonder, like, who's she banging? Because there's some stuff going.
Man.
Yeah. I don't know if you had it going on your day, but there's some, stuff people are thinking that some teachers are doing, some students. But anyways, go on.
Yeah, I'm not sure about teachers doing students. I knew there were a few teachers that were banging other teachers. and it was a little awkward, thinking about it. And then there's there's two that you always kind of thought hooked up, but they never really did. They were just like really good friends there. It's like she gave him the hall pass or the friend pass, the friend zone card. So
the teacher and the English teacher or something.
Yeah, well, yeah, something like that. Actually, in my school, it was like the English teacher and the history teacher, and they were older. But you always kind of thought they might have something going on behind the scenes, and if one of the students brought it up, they got all pissed off, and you're like, they got it going on. They're banging, they're shaking canes and stuff. I don't know. They had it going on.
Yeah, one English teacher, people were swore that she was in the Playboy or something once upon a time. But the only bad thing, when they brought that up, she was in her 50s and 60s. Then you're like trying to visualize. You're going, oh my God. I see crusted crab dust, old lady, saggy, dried titties hanging out, and you're like,
what?
She's supposed to be hot back in the day.
at the time, it's like, oh, they're 50 years old, oh, they're nasty, and now we're like, oh, they're 50? Well, that's not too bad.
I can squirt some lube on that.
Yeah, it's like we can lick and stick. That's the way you got to do it. All right. So apparently in Michigan, there's some teachers that were caught discussing which students they'd fuck, marry, or kill. And story goes on, a gaggle of Michigan public school staffers are facing some serious detention after being caught on video happily discussing which students they'd rather have sex with, marry, or kill. Well, it looks like they were in a bar.
Subject to have.
Well, they were in a bar. It's not like they were in school. They were in a bar. And somebody, damn them smartphones, somebody caught them discussing it.
Wow.
It says the teachers and at least one secretary from Bangor High School can be overheard naming the students, including special needs kids, as they played a lewd game at a local gin joint, according to a 6-minute video filmed by a customer and posted to YouTube. All right. That's a little... I don't know what's more weird, them talking about it, or if it's the fucking...
I don't know. A bunch of teachers are condoning the topic. What they can't... Unless they're just, I don't know, man.
They were drunk. They were drunk, and they're probably, just talking shit. And, looking back, now you kind of go, wow, that chick's kind of hot. But then you're like, oh, she's probably like 16. Especially with some of the shit they wear. It's crazy. And the way they try to look older.
Oh, yeah. Some of you are like, what? You're 16? What? You look like you're 19, 20. No, I'm 16. What?
Right? So it goes on to say, well, I guess a woman says, oh, I'd fuck so-and-so. And then a man at the table is heard identifying the 3 students he would bone, marry, and kill. I would totally marry so-and-so because she likes the Tigers. And she never even brought up that I was wasted on the bus trip. She could keep secrets, another man says.
Dang.
So the teacher was wasted on a bus trip.
He just got himself in trouble on that one.
Yeah, no doubt. Then it said on Monday, 2 teachers received a written reprimand, and the school secretary resigned. Outraged parents stormed the school board meeting on Monday night with some calling for the district officials to resign. I would like to see people being held accountable, Amanda something or other, the mother of a special needs student, mentioned in the video. There are some criminal charges being pressed. I'm not sure how that's going to go, but I don't want to see anybody lose their job. But this is not okay. You've got to go.
It seems like the secretary must have been the one recording it because she lost her job. That's what I'm thinking.
No, it was somebody. It was somebody from the video that they have. It looks like the person is like across the room, and they're just talking really loud. And, I mean, I don't know. I can't really condone it. because I don't want any high school teacher looking at my kid going, man, I'd bone her, you know, or I'd marry her. I mean, whew, you know, but then again, these teachers could be like 25, 26, you know, not even, maybe even 24, and they've got, you know, 18-year-olds in their class that are looking pretty fucking hot. So,
usually high school teachers, well, I don't know about these days. I know usually when I was in high school, most of the teachers were at least a little older, but still, you never know. I'm going to tell you, like when I was in high school, I went on like a scuba diving trip, and we're like, is this teacher's? Like, one of the teachers, she was a hot blonde girl. We're like, is she asleep with some of the students? We had a suspicion. I think she ended up getting in trouble like 3 or 4 years after I graduated for sleeping with students. So I was like, yeah, I guess she was sleeping with students.
Well, you know what? These female, you know, you see all these news stories about these hot female teachers sleeping with these students. And all I could think about every time I see one of these news stories is, why the fuck did not one of those teachers come after me when I was in high school? Yeah, I wasn't the prettiest motherfucker, but man, I had probably a walking heart on everywhere I went. You know, it's like, oh, boop, wind. Well, you know, it's like cold wind, bam. You know, it was always there, and I'm like, fuck, man, I can't walk without my book sitting in front of me. You know, yeah. That's why dudes always had to carry their books in front of them. It's not like, you know, they weren't carrying on the side. They were using both hands. They had one hand down by their dick, holding their books, walking down the hall.
Why you have your baseball cup on during the middle of school? Don't worry.
That's right. Why is that baseball cup moving?
Right.
So I don't know, man. I just keep thinking that, and you know,
well, to me, it just sucks anymore. Like, you know, I mean, phones are cool and stuff, but it just proves you gotta be careful no matter where the fuck you're at anymore these days. You just can't have like a goofy, lewd conversation. I mean, some of the shit that we probably talked about at the bars and stuff, you know, people would caught what we said at bars and stuff. God, and they put that out there. Shit, we'd been out of the military like 15 years ago. Whatever.
No shit, man. No shit. I mean, with the way times have changed, I am so glad cell phones weren't around, especially with the video recording capability when I was younger.
Yeah,
my ass would have been in jail.
Yeah, know? I'm not condoning the topic, but it just, you know how we, you know, I'm just saying, you know, it all could have been fun and game just because that's their work atmosphere. And so they're just trying to blow off steam. It just kind of went off to the side, and just when it comes out, it's like, oh shit. So,
right? I mean, you know, you can't even take the shit back. You know, and when you get a few drinks in you, everybody knows, if you listen to this show especially, you start saying some shit. And we honestly don't care, because we're out here for your pleasure and a little bit of our own.
Yeah, yeah. Then there's been days I go back and listen to it, and I go, oh shit, I said that.
You know, but it's all good. It doesn't matter. You know, hey, we're here, a little bit of freedom of speech, so fuck y'all, and we're here to have some fun and a good time, and we're here to tell you some stories about shit that we find on the internet. No bullshit. It is posted out there, so you can find anything you want on the internet. These are just like what we find each week. But on this topic, I'm going to play a little bit of tunes, because we play tunes for y'all, and we think they're good shit, especially if you're about our age, you know, reliving the 80s and that sort of stuff, because as you know, we aren't older, since we're talking about cell phones before our, you know, that weren't around during our time as kids in school. So we got a little bit, this kind of goes along with this topic. We got some Bullet Boys, Smooth Up in Ya.
Smooth up in ya.